Want an even more in-depth look at the toy in this review? An entire gallery of images can be found at Toy News International. Just click the link in this video's description. Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Hot Toys 1/6 scale G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes. That's right, everyone's favorite ninja from the G.I. Joe universe gets the high-quality Hot Toys treatment in 1/6 scale. So let's check this guy out. Snake Eyes comes enclosed in very nice boxed packaging, where the front of the box has some beautiful art depicting the 1/6 scale Snake Eyes figure right there on the front in an amazing sword-wielding pose. The box behind the figure itself is all this really nice white, and you can see that there's this really great snow-capped mountain design that wraps all the way around to the back of the box. Sliding off that outer slipcover reveals a window box that showcases the figure within, as well as all of his included accessories. Alright, so let's go ahead and get Snake Eyes removed from the packaging so that we can take a closer look at this figure. Now, just like Hot Toys is known for, I will say right away that immediately upon removing this guy from the box, you're going to notice the amazing amount of detail that was put into the costuming and the design of this particular figure. He's pretty incredible through and through. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those details all the way down the costume so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, this particular version is based on Snake Eyes as he appeared in the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie. I'm actually pretty glad about that because even though he's based on that movie counterpart, the way Snake Eyes appeared in that particular movie is very similar to the way we're used to seeing the character in the action figure line. So he looks pretty much exactly like you'd expect him to look. And I'm definitely glad he wasn't based on the way he looked in Rise of Cobra. While I didn't hate his appearance in that movie, it did always kind of bother me how the mask had the mouth molded onto it. It was really weird and very Power Rangers-ish looking to me. And not that that's a bad thing, Power Rangers are cool, it just didn't seem right for Snake Eyes. And this particular version of Snake Eyes does look much better and definitely gives off that very cool Snake Eyes feel. You can see that the head sculpt is really cool on this guy. They did a great job of capturing the look of the mask. He's got the black visor that's kind of going across the eyes there, and it is done in kind of a glossier version black than the rest of the mask itself, where there is some really nice little detail kind of molded in there. It's not just like a straight black. There's definitely a little bit of design in the mask there to give it some texture. So it's a very cool look, very menacing looking figure right there in the head sculpt. Now, the rest of the costume is also very nicely done. Now, I will say, in this video here, the cloth parts of the costume might look a little lighter black than they actually are in person. That's due to my studio lighting and the way everything's set up. So if it looks a little off, trust me that when you see it in person, the black all matches very nicely on this. It's a combination of armored pieces and nice cloth clothing underneath that. You can see he's got some cool chest armor there. Across the top of his chest, he's also got nice little shoulder pads, which are nice and loosely fitting so it doesn't hinder any of the articulation in his arms, which I'll show you in just a bit. And then he's got this just great cloth clothing underneath that armor that has all kinds of great little details. You can see there's lots of little buckles on the chest, around the belt there. There's a lot of great little pouches kind of going around that. You can see little pouches on the back. Now, all the buckles and pouches are non-removable and they don't open up, but they still look really great and they're very nicely detailed little touches to really bring some realism to this outfit. And then the pants he's wearing are kind of military-style cargo pants. They are in that same black color that does match up with the rest of the figure. And you can see, again, he's got pockets on the sides with the little buckles and pockets along the back. And lots of great detailing, such as the stitching and all of the great work that's put into this is just really, really well done. It's very realistic looking. So before we go ahead and move any further, why don't we go ahead and get the articulation out of the way so you can see how this guy moves around. The head is ball jointed, so we can turn the head left and right and kind of roll it all the way around, so you can get some great up and down poses. You got hinges in the neck as well, so the head can move all the way up, look all the way down. Great posing there. You got ball joints at the shoulders, and like I said, those armor pieces do move up and down, so his articulation's not hindered at the arms. You can rotate the arms around at the bicep as well. You got great elbow joints there, so you can get a great range of movement at the elbows. You can rotate the wrists, as well as kind of roll them all the way around. There's a nice little hinge ball joint in there, so they move great. The torso has got a nice rock there, so you can rotate the torso all the way around, as well as swivel them at the waist there. You got great hinge-like joints at the legs, the thighs, ball hinge joints there, so legs can move outwards, forwards, backwards. However, I will say the pants are going to hinder that movement just a little bit, but it's not too bad. You can also swivel the legs there at the thighs. You got great joints at the knees, so you can bend the legs all the way back there. You got swivels at the ankle, as well as ball joints in there as well, so you can roll the foot all the way around. So you can really get some great poses out of this figure, which is going to play in perfectly with all of the accessories that he includes. So, accessories. Let's take a look at those. This is everything that is included with your Snake Eyes figure. Not only does he include several weapons, but he also has 5 pairs of interchangeable hands. Now, if you've ever had any of these Hot Toys figures before, you know exactly how that works, but basically they're just on little ball joints, and the pegs actually pop right out of the arms there so that you can pop the hand into the ball joint and then put it back into the arm. It's really easy to swap them in and out, and among those hands, you're going to have 2 closed fists. You're going to have 2 gripping hands, which is going to be good for holding on to his swords. You're going to have 2 trigger finger hands, which is great for holding on to the guns that he includes. Then you've got 2 hands that are kind of slightly opened, and then 2 hands that are all the way open, flat palmed. So the combination of all these different hands mixed together with his various accessories is going to really add to all the different display options that you'll be able to pull off with this particular figure. Alright, so now let's run down Snake Eyes' weaponry. First of all, he includes 2 very small little throwing knives. The knives are very nicely detailed. They've got little black hilts that have some nice sculpting on there to look like they're wrapped, and the blades themselves have a really nice chromed finish so that they've got a really nice shine to them. Now, these are very small knives, so the regular holding hands aren't going to hold onto them very tightly. They're going to be very loose, but since these are throwing knives, you can actually position them very nicely in the open hands between his fingers, and that makes for some really cool posing opportunities. Another really cool thing about this is he does have 2 sheaths on him so that you can store these 2 throwing knives when he's not using them. There's one on his right side there that you can store one of the knives in. And then on his back is a second knife sheath, so you can put the second knife there. Next up is the handgun. This is a very nicely detailed little weapon because not only does it look really nice with the sculpt, but there's a lot of great little details here. You can actually cock it, which is really cool, and on top of that, you can even pull the clip out of the handle of the gun there, and there's some really nice detailing there too. I mean, you can even flip the little clip around, you can see the little bullet on the inside, so that's a really nice touch on there. Of course, this is going to go great with the hand that's got the trigger finger so that he'll hold onto the gun very nicely. Going to allow you to get some different poses out of him with that. And of course, he's got a holster on his left side where you can house the handgun when he's not using it. If the handgun's not enough for you, he also includes a larger submachine gun. And just like that little handgun, there's a lot of really great details going on here, as well as some different ways to display it. It actually does have an extendable back portion, so you can pull that out so he can get some great two-handed poses, as well as a little fold-down handle in the front there. That way you can hold onto it with both hands ready to fire. The clip is also removable from this, just like it is from the handgun, and once again, is detailed nicely so that you can actually see the little bullet on the inside, which is a really cool touch. So again, this works great with the trigger finger and just a regular gripping hand. That way you can get some really nice two-handed blasting poses out of Snake Eyes. And then we come to the swords, because where would a ninja be without some cool katana blades? Snake Eyes here actually includes 2 different katanas. Both of them are made of metal, which is really cool. So they got a little bit of weight to them. They feel great. So there's two different swords here. First of all, we've got one that's got a nicely detailed brown handle with a black blade. You can see at the bottom of the hilt there is the red Arashikage logo painted on there. And of course, you can get him in some great two-handed poses or single-handed poses. And there is even a sword sheath on his back where you can house one of these katana blades. The second katana blade is actually my favorite one in this set. This one includes a really nice chromed finish blade, so it's got a very shiny silver look to it, and it does still have that red Arashikage logo painted towards the bottom there. And the handle on this one is black. And again, works great for two-handed poses or single-handed poses, or if you want to have them holding both katanas at the same time, you can do that too. It's really cool just playing around with this guy to see all the different poses you can get, mixing and matching all those hands, putting different weapons in there, maybe with a gun and a sword, two swords, whatever you want to do. This guy is awesome. You can really pose him around and get some really fun display options out of him. And of course, just like with all of the Hot Toys 1/6 scale collectible figures, he also includes a stand. The bottom of it just has the G.I. Joe Retaliation logo printed on it, as well as a little nameplate that says Snake Eyes. And of course, it's got the extendable stand on there that just places right between the figure's legs. That way you can keep him standing once you've got him posed. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the amazingly cool Hot Toys G.I. Joe Retaliation 1/6 scale Snake Eyes figure. This is a really fantastic figure. This is only the second Hot Toys figure I've ever picked up, but I've got to say, I am once again blown away by the amount of detail that is put into this guy. This right here is a serious high-end collectible, perfect for adult collectors. There is just so much to love about this guy. Not only is he super posable and comes with lots of great display options with all those interchangeable parts and the many different nicely detailed weapons, but just the amount of care and attention to detail that was put into his overall costume and look is just breathtaking. Like, this guy just looks awesome, and he's going to make for a great display piece on your shelf. So I'd say if you're a big G.I. Joe fan, you love the Retaliation movie, or even if you're just a fan of Snake Eyes in general, and of course those regular Hot Toys collectors out there, Snake Eyes here is a great addition to add to your collection. Until next time,